Connecting the Purple Dots, Episode 4, Part 4, Prince's Emergency Plane Landing and Hospital Stay. We're going to wrap this thing up. So here we go. We've done 3 previous episodes to review and understand everything that took place the night of April 15th, or should I say, the early morning of April 15th, 2016. We've covered the emergency plane landing. We have reviewed the video in which many questions from directly where did this video come from to researching and looking at the possibilities of just about where on the backside of the Quad City Airport, as indicated by the video presented by TMZ, would have been located, in which, looking at the video, looking at the still picture that TMZ presented, as well as going straight to Google Earth to zoom in on the backside of the airport, and we found no cameras that would give us the position, height, angle of a camera that would provide us with this video that TMZ has presented. So we've also put it out there that if anyone else could do the same research to uncover any cameras or offer any suggestions of where the camera potentially came from, to contact us. And to date, we've gotten no information from anyone. No one has contacted us via comments. No one has contacted us via email regarding this mysterious camera. So next, we went straight to the city of Moline to gather information from any police incident reports that would indicate an emergency plane landing there at the Quad City Airport in Moline, Illinois. Our first attempt, we received nothing back from the city of Moline's Freedom of Information Act representative, as they indicated nothing available. So then we spoke with the Quad City Airport directly and put a Freedom of Information Act request in to their offices and their attorney, and we were able to get back quite a bit of paperwork that was mostly redacted. So then we went back to the city of Moline, Illinois, and asked for the same Freedom of Information Act for all of the police, fire, and EMS, and we got pretty much all redacted information. So we went a step even further and contacted the newspaper there in Moline, Illinois, and pretty much came to the understanding that they really didn't know any information about the emergency plane landing of Prince. Therefore, they quoted a national news organization from 16 to 1800 miles away called TMZ there in Los Angeles, California. And as I mentioned, and the question that comes to mind is, how the heck does TMZ know what's going on in the city of Moline, and the people in the city of Moline don't know what's going on in their own backyard? So then we went and called the news station there in Moline, Illinois, and speaking to their representative, it was made 100% clear that no one at the TV station even knew or heard anything on police scanners about an emergency plane landing at the Quad City Airport on April 15th, 2016. So therefore, if they didn't know anything, how could they respond? And that leaves a huge question mark. But of course, they didn't have their script. Found that to be quite odd, as the representative mentioned that at least 2 times, that she didn't have a script. Isn't that strange? All right, so moving on, we were able to obtain the medical records via the DEA's investigation from the hospital that Prince was taken to there in the city of Moline, Illinois, and we were able to review some of that, as there was some redactions made and some coding to, I guess, prevent us from seeing names and titles and things of that nature. But we found a number of questions with the hospital report from the emergency room there for Prince's, what they stated was a brief stay, but clearly turned out to be 8 hours or more. I guess in kind of reviewing things in my mind as we go down the report, you know, the biggest question that I would have is, and was also mentioned in some of the comments, is how do we know exactly what was in Prince's system, since he wouldn't let them draw any blood to take any tests? He could have told us he took anything, but that could never be verified without a blood test. And another question comes up to be is, well, Prince has stated in his last Tavis Smiley interview that he was an epileptic as a child, and he suffered from seizures. Well, it's been some time since we, the public, knew that Prince had any epileptic seizures. But it is known that epileptics can go for some time without seizures, and then they could reappear again, I guess, or it could happen at a later date on in their adult life, or whatever it may be. That's all possible. But one thing, as I look into epilepsy, is, did you know that an epileptic seizure can render someone unconscious and unresponsive? Food for thought there. But getting back to the blood test, he wouldn't let them do a blood draw, so the doctor could not confirm what was in his system. All they could go off of was what they were told he took, but no, confirmation via lab tests. So as we go through the report, we see things like, he asked for freshly squeezed orange juice, which they did not have, so they offered him ice water. He took the ice water. One thing that tripped me up is he was so concerned after, the hospital saving his life that it was necessary for him to mention or request that his linen on the bed that he was in be changed. I wonder why that was so important to him at that time, with everything that was going on. Another question. The number of times that the doctor or doctors mentioned to him how important it was for them to draw his blood and find out exactly what was, going on in his system, what his levels were, so that they could make a more accurate assessment of what was going on. And of course, each time, according to the documents, Prince declined the blood draw. One of the other big things that stand out is Prince wanting to leave the hospital against medical advice. So apparently they got the paperwork together, and looking at the documentation, Prince was able to sign it according to this documentation. It's Prince's signature. Now, doesn't really look like any of Prince's other signatures or autographs, but keep in mind, he's been a celebrity a long time, and I'm sure he has a different signature than he does from an autograph for fans. Versus also keep in mind, this is someone who is allegedly had a Percocet overdose and is being revived from an unresponsive status, and maybe writing his name as neatly as possible or in his normal way just wasn't what he felt he needed to put effort into at this time. But since he was able to sign off on the against medical advice or leaving against medical advice form, another big question hits us, which has to do with Kurt Johnson. Why on earth would Kurt Johnson need to sign any of Prince's medical paperwork or forms, especially in the particular area being his power of attorney? Now, power of attorneys are normally used in a general fashion in which someone is unavailable, I'm going to say again, unavailable to sign, or meaning they're unavailable, they're not there, present, they're maybe out of state or out of country. The other one would be as if they were incapacitated. Let's say if Prince was right or left-handed and he happened to break his dominant hand and was unable to sign his name, his power of attorney would be able to step in and do that for him. Generally. Now, of course, power of attorneys have different types of uses, and you'll have to Google those or research those and pull those up to get a better, full understanding of how power of attorneys are used, when they're used, and when they actually expire. But the big question here is, why would Kirk Johnson need to sign any medical forms there at the hospital in the emergency department at that time if Prince was fully capable of signing his own name on his departure form or the against medical advice or leaving against medical advice form? Why would Kirk Johnson need to sign anything? So let me just put this in the mix. Both Prince's signature as well as Kirk Johnson's signature was captured electronically. So the question would be, was it captured electronically there at the hospital at the time they were present, or through some other means? And I know a few of you have commented on that. So just seems like the more we review, the more questions we have. But we'll keep on moving on. So I want to say the last big question that came up from the medical records was the fact that there was some type of video that a particular doctor had asked them to, I guess, save or archive for their records. And yes, here it is. A video of admitting and time and entrance stored for documentation purposes as advised by B7C, whoever that doctor or hospital administrator may have been or staff person. So we know, according to this medical record document, that there is some form of video of the admitting process, and I'm sure the time of the entrance as him being brought into the hospital. So we'll have to work and see if we can somehow get a copy of this particular video. And isn't it funny that TMZ was able to get a video up of Prince once he was back in Minneapolis of him going to a doctor's appointment with Kirk Johnson, walking him in the doctor's building or office, and then of course correspondingly you see him leave that office. But we have nothing from the emergency room as far as video or audio of Prince entering this hospital emergency department in Moline, Illinois, or leaving. And another question that comes up is, exactly how did he leave the hospital? Did they jump in a taxi? Was there a limousine or black car service? Or heck, maybe they caught an Uber. No one knows. How did he get from the hospital back to the airport? Question marks. So after reading a few comments, I did come across a comment that made me say, And one of the subscribers had asked, well, after this whole ordeal and Prince flying from Moline, Illinois and back into Minneapolis, why wasn't he met with like an onslaught or a slew of reporters? And I had mentioned that because the news of this emergency landing and overnight emergency room or emergency department stay wasn't publicized or reported until 4 p.m. that day, and he was already at home by then. So then someone had mentioned that apparently he had sent a tweet out after leaving the hospital, or I guess getting to the airport in Moline. I have not found any such tweet. If anybody knows of any kind of tweet and can provide a screenshot, please email that to us, because that would open up a whole nother set of questions as to, why wouldn't he be met with a whole bunch of reporters, and especially TMZ in Minneapolis? Because obviously TMZ was able to obtain footage of him walking in and out of his doctor's appointment there. They were able to obtain footage of the Walgreens. So why wouldn't we get any footage of him landing back in Minneapolis after the whole Moline, Illinois emergency plane landing? Lots of questions, lots of food for thought. And more importantly, lots more digging to do. But as this channel has always said, and always will say, the truth leaves no questions. And certainly not this many. And heck, we haven't even gotten to the part of the actual events of April 21st, 2016. But stay tuned. There's certainly more to come. Hey, thanks for watching Connecting the Purple Dots. The truth leaves no questions. Please do us the favor of subscribing and hitting the notification bell so the next time our new videos come out, you'll be the first to know. And do us a bigger favor of spreading the word and sharing our videos with those who are interested in this content regarding Prince. Thanks for watching.